everyone, Sam from DMTI with you today. And in this video, we're going to explore some whole number place value concepts, but we're going to connect it to what we've done in a lot of other videos, which have primarily focused on the key models and language and context that we're going to use to teach different math concepts. So today I want to share with you one of my favorite activities for kids learning multi-digit whole number place value. And we're going to mix all three of those as a way to explore how numbers are composed of different units following the base 10 system. So I'm going to start with the context of a warehouse that has books in it. So there's going to be different ways we package the books. And so for this context, I'm going to say that you can have a box that holds 100 books. You can have a package that holds 10 books, or you can just have books by themselves. Now, that context is just one I like because I like to encourage kids to think about reading, but you could come up with any situation that kids are familiar with where it would at least make sense to have things packaged in those three different ways: hundreds, tens, and ones. So we're going to start with a problem-solving activity of just saying that if we have 234 books, what are some ways that we could package those, given that we have boxes, packs, and single books. So we've got boxes of 100, packs of 10, and then single books. If you're working with kids right now, I'd pause the video and just give them a chance to kind of work through that, talk about some different combinations they think might work, and then we'll come back and I'll show you some ways to model and talk about it and connect it to place value. Okay, so we had the 234 books, and the most typical conventional way to package that, and now I'm going to use the place value model to help represent this idea. So that would be the 2 boxes of 100, the 3 packs of 10, and then the 4 single books. Now, you might notice that this place value model is drawn all together. That's because it really is a special kind of area model. And we find that by doing that, kids' drawings are a little more precise rather than separating all of them. And it also helps them become more familiar with area models when they move into upper grades where they start using them for multiplication. So it's just kind of a nice connection to build the place value model like that. So that's our most typical composition. Now, what I like to do with this context is go back to the actual problem-solving context and say, okay, this is the 2 boxes of 100, 3 packs of 10, and 4 single books. Then I like to integrate the place value language to say, okay, if this was out of the packaging book situation, let's just talk about it as the parts of the numbers. And the language we would use is 2 units of 100, 3 units of 10, and 4 units of 1. And what we can do with that language is to connect to a way to write that as an equation that highlights the different place value units. So we would have 2 units of 100, trap that in parentheses, plus 3 units of 10, plus 4 units of 1. So we have essentially the digit for each part of that number multiplied by the unit value that we used. Now that's a pretty good entry task, and from there, if you wanted, you could just vary the numbers. But another really good extension is to then put in some type of constraint, a limitation for what you can actually do in regards to how you're going to package the books. And my favorite one would be to say, well, you know what, you still have 234 books, but you can only fill 1 box of 100. For some reason, we don't have any other boxes. So how could you still package 234 books using only 1 unit of 100? So if you're working with kids, I'll pause and give you a chance for them to talk about that, and then we'll come back and I'll show you a couple different examples. Okay, so now we're not going to be able to use this particular model, but I'm going to build off of it and say, all right, I've got my package of 100, the 1 unit of 100, but I need to figure out how to do the rest with only 10s and 1s. And one really good thing that good strategy that will connect to what kids do with addition subtraction is to say, all right, well, that used to be 100, but what if I composed 100 using 10s, which would be 10 10s? And so now in all, I'm actually going to have 13 units of 10